Hello, everyone. Welcome to Intuitive Parenting with Mama B. On my stoop, this space here is an extension of my stoop where I sit and enjoy reading, writing, listening to music, and having conversation. Just like an extension of also my dinner table, because I love sitting and fellowshipping around the dinner table, breaking bread, eating some scrumptious food. Oh my goodness. Weaving connections with our communication. That's right. So thank you for being here. And before we go on to my reflection, I'd like to thank you all for your heartwarming engagement, your feedbacks. Was it your feedback? Your feedback. And, from the DMs, the messages, phone calls, in person, it's been heartwarming, your reception to this launch on Wednesday of these videos. So thank you so much. Today I thought we would think upon a demand that we always have over our children. And it seems like that is a go-to when I'm watching shows with families that are struggling with their family dynamics. The parent is always, more often than not, complaining that the child does not respect them. You don't respect me. And I watch that and I just see so much toxicity there, because it is usually that the demand for respect is solely based on the date of birth of one of the two people. And so our children are yelled at and in some cases abused because you have to respect me. But what makes it difficult for those children to respect us in many cases is because we are not respectable people. Even as adults, we don't respect some people because of just how they behave or treat us. Yet when it comes to children, we expect them to respect us, because we birthed them. And our date of birth was before them. So we feel that date of birth entitles us to respect from a child. And I think many times we make it difficult for ourselves when we do not look in the mirror and check ourselves and introspect as to how it is that we are behaving in front of our children and what is it that they're catching, because children will live what they live. They will do what they live. It's not what we say that they hear, they catch what we do. And so many times we feel that because children were born after us, then somehow they are less human than us. And so we expect them to not have the same emotions that we have, to feel the same feeling that we feel when things are done to us or to them. And we expect them to just push through whatever feelings they have that we have caused them and still respect us. And what I have noticed is we believe somewhere, or we were told, or we're, conditioned to believe that fear is respect. And so if we instill fear in our children, if our children fear us, then that means they respect us. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Yes, fear is a motivator. If somebody fears you or you fear someone, you're going to behave in such a way that you don't suffer their wrath and their anger. So you will behave in such a way that you keep yourself safe from that person. But that doesn't necessarily mean you respect them. You're just afraid of them. And I say this because I was once a child, right? This is a channel for everyone who's ever been a child. I was once a child, and I know that how I behaved in front of my parents was not necessarily how I behave behind the back. And so because our children behave a certain way when we are looking at them, when they know that we're looking at them or we're watching them, does not mean that's how they are behind our back. And so actually when they fear us, we create another problem for ourselves, because what we are teaching them inadvertently, what we're teaching them is how not to get caught. Because we are all smart when it comes to that. We will learn and get trained how not to get caught. And therein, our children learn how to lie to us. And it's all because they're trying to feel safe. They're trying to be safe because we are not safe. And because a child is afraid of us, because we've instilled fear in them, because we are of the position that fear-based parenting works, we run into the problem of a child who is afraid to share their life with us. And so if we want to have influence in our child's life, that child would have to be able to talk to us. And for them to be able to talk to us and open their lives to us, because you cannot have influence over a life you know nothing about. So for them to be able to open up to us, they'd have to feel comfortable with us. And they can only feel comfortable with us if they feel safe. And so then the question becomes, which is where I found a lot of transformation, is to introspect and find out what is it in how I interact with my child that makes them feel unsafe, to where they want to avoid me and close me out of their life. And it is hard. It is hard, like I said before, to push against your own conditioning, to make connections as to how and why you interact the way you do and how you show up in your home the way you do. It takes guts. Very tough. Very tough. And so when we are willing to change, and a lot of it, the changing happens when we are willing to heal ourselves from our own baggage that cause us to be so toxic, to where our children avoid us. And they avoid us because they don't like us. They love us. Yes, they love us. But they don't like us many times. They don't seek us out to watch a movie maybe in the living room, to join us and to linger at the dinner table after a meal. And of course now with social media and all of that, thank God I dodged that bullet. And so heads off to you parents now who are trying to navigate around all of these voices that are competing with your voice. And it makes it so much harder because children have their friends on their phones now. They leave the table to go into their rooms and talk to their friends on their phones. So it is very hard to be the louder or the loudest voice in your child's life. And so in my opinion, it makes it all the more reason for us to work at being safe for our children to come to. I mean, I think about even all the things that we believed as children about the talks or the talk that we couldn't have with our parents. And so we picked up all manner of misinformation and disinformation from our friends, talking about babies come from aeroplanes. I remember when I was a child, I was outside playing and a plane flew overhead. My parents were in the living room and they could hear me scream at their plane ahead because I had heard that babies come from planes, aeroplane. And I was screaming because I was the only girl, only daughter. So I wished I had a sister. And so I screamed, "Hey! Bring me a sister!" I can just imagine what my parents were saying in the living room just on the other side because I was outside playing. And so, I mean, I don't even remember how young I was. But I know that is a topic, even when I grew older as a teenager, that is not a topic that I could have addressed or broached with my parents about where do babies come from. And then, of course, when I was raising my own child, I underestimated, I think that's the word, I underestimated how long it would take before he asked me those questions. And man, oh man, I think he was like 5 years old when he asked me, "Mommy, where do babies come from?" And I froze because I was so uncomfortable with that question. But anyway, that is for another time of how I dealt with that one. But I didn't expect it, and I had to push through my own conditioning to not shut him down. And it was because I was uncomfortable. But what I did know, or what I had already told myself, is that any question that he would come and ask me, he better see his mom's mouth move. That boy, I told myself, he's going to see his mom's mouth move to formulate an answer somehow. And so that was how I dealt with things when he'd come to me and ask me questions that were difficult. I mean, I know now, with all the new thoughts that I have picked up along the way, that it was okay for me to say in some instances that let me think about it, let mom think about it, and I'll come back to you. But my mouth moved and answered that boy. What a journey it's been. What a journey. But anyway, I'll share that another time. I don't want this video to be too long. So yes, so you cannot have influence over a life you know nothing about. And for you to have influence over your life, over that life of your child's life, they would have to share with you. And for that to happen, they'd have to be comfortable with you. And for that to happen, they'd have to feel safe with you. And therein is the transformation. Why are they not safe with you? And that will take you down a healing path, because you'll start making connections about why you carry the toxicity that you're carrying that makes you unsafe for your child to come to you. And those connections, you find out about the little children that we are walking around carrying all the time, that get triggered by the littlest of things. And that is really what I encourage parents to do, is to just be honest with ourselves so we can break these cycles of toxic parenting, which is what we're doing here at Intuitive Parenting. Our focus is breaking the cycle of toxic parenting, because we carry it everywhere. We carry it with our friends. We can't even have conversations that are productive without flying off the handle, because we're carrying a whole lot of unhealed woundedness. But anyway, so to be respected, we need to be respectable people. In my opinion, my date of birth does not entitle me to respect by default from a child. I need to be respectable and be worthy of respect. And I'm worthy of respect when I model respect. And I model respect by respecting the child. We don't get diminished when we respect our children. We don't get diminished. Instead, that enlarges us. That humility enlarges us in the eyes of our children. So that's my reflection for today. I hope you have a wonderful week. Until next Sunday, thank you for stopping by the stoop. Bye-bye.